Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Tuesday, the 28th of January, comes to you from London. I was in Vienna all last week doing training, so we haven't had Charts Today for over a week. But the big question on everyone's mind is it game over for Nvidia, down a massive 16% last night on Wall Street? So what now? And we'll come back to Nvidia towards the end of this, but let's just take a look at the markets first of all. So bit of a mixed picture. Obviously that Wall Street move weighing quite heavily, but we're seeing on the dollar, we are on the short term just having a little bit of a pullback. The long term, the medium term trend on the daily chart is still up. We found support just on the cloud here, so we're still in an uptrend. And notice that on this short 60-minute chart, shorter term, we are breaking back through the cloud. So dollar strength is returning. That, of course, means that euro weakness is returning as well. We're just breaking down through the cloud there. Looking at the yen, just as a proxy for what's happening with the dollar, we see here that the yen is also just weakening. That's dollar strength just kicking back in there, so really quite key. Sterling, quite interesting here. We're seeing, again, we're holding the trend a bit better than we were on the euro, so that's quite key there as well. And we're seeing we're still in a downtrend against the dollar there on sterling. Remember, it's quoted the other way around, so that's quite key as well. Taking a look at Bitcoin, we are seeing here this this upside target to $134,000 if we can break to a new high. We'll activate that at about 106, 107. We'd activate that target. The target is actually activated already. We want to see a new high. This is a consolidation pattern building on Bitcoin. We can see it here, and really the key thing now is to see a break to a new high. So that's going to be quite key as well. Taking a look at some of the other things, of course, we look at the NASDAQ. That really was hit quite hard yesterday with that move in tech. Most tech stocks falling quite heavily. Nvidia was the worst casualty, of course. And if we look at the S&P, not as badly hit, more broadly based. And in fact, the Dow Jones index fared pretty well. So that's quite key, seeing that as well. So we are seeing the S&P still looking okay on trend, but we do have this downside move. If we move lower, this downside move that we've seen in recent days, remembering this actually started last week, this downside move through the cloud, if we see a move lower, we activate a downside target some 7% lower. So that is quite key. Looking at the FTSE, that's also obviously going to be a little bit affected today, but we are just holding a little bit higher on the 60-minute chart, looking a little bit less clear there, but we see here we just are testing the cloud. And if we look in Germany, we're seeing the DAX is also up slightly this morning, so taking last night's move on Wall Street in its stride. It's really the market shaking this off as very heavily tech related. Crude oil has had a little bit of a relief rally today. We did our coverage of energy this morning for clients. We are seeing a little bit of a relief rally, but the trend is still down. The $70 level is the key to watch on crude oil, so keep an eye on that. Some of the commodities also, we're seeing wheat and corn looking a little bit weaker. Got downside target there on wheat. Corn, we're seeing also just running out of steam. So really quite key there. And if we take a look at gold here on the daily chart in gold, we've got upside targets as well. And then don't forget, you can do this on your Bloomberg. You can see the targets on your Bloomberg. All you have to do is just type in Bloomberg the code that you would normally type, GPC for the chart, and put Lin after it, and it will put all the trends and targets on. If you want the targets on Bloomberg, just type apps Lin Go, and it will automatically put all those trends and targets on for you, and then you can just manipulate your chart and get the targets on Bloomberg. So don't forget, you can do this on Bloomberg or on Updater. So taking a look at US 10-year yields, that's really quite key. We're seeing here just a little bit of a pullback. we did just touch 4.8%, and we're seeing relief in Europe as well. UK gilts actually just coming back, so that stress that everyone was talking about in the UK, not so much now. Taking a look at some of the stocks, we see Apple just still now a series of mixed targets, bearish on the short-term charts, bullish on the medium term, but really just starting to break the clouds. So really starting to see some concerns creeping in. Need to be sure this is not really self-fulfilling. And we're seeing here on Amazon, similar picture. So that's quite key there as well. And if we go down the charts, we're seeing Microsoft, they were down 2%, really quite key there. But it was Nvidia, of course, which was the one that was hit. So what does this mean for Nvidia? Let's think about that. So the key thing on Nvidia is this move down going to be something that actually is sustained? So we can just take all the targets off for the moment. If we recover, obviously that's going to be quite key. If we go lower, this move will give us a downside target. Notice the engulfing candle, the bearish engulfing candles here, 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 a whole series of bearish engulfing candles on these tops on Nvidia. So that's going to be really quite key. And if we look at the 60-minute chart, we're seeing here really also quite a lot of downside potential. So that's the key. We've broken support, so we need to be aware of that. That's it for today. Keep an eye on those charts. Until tomorrow, happy charting. Bye for now.